The White House, already reeling from a long list of problems, now has a new little headache to deal with. First Lady Jill Biden causing some controversy and forced to apologize for an apparent attempt at pandering to Hispanic voters.
Raul helped build this organization with the understanding that the diversity of this community, as distinct as the bodegas of the Bronx, as beautiful as the blossoms of Miami, and as unique as the breakfast tacos here in San Antonio, is your strength.
The National Association of Hispanic Journalists not happy with those comments, tweeting in part, quote, NAHJ encourages the First Lady and her communications team to take time to better understand the complexities of our people and communities. We are not tacos. Jill Biden's press secretary issuing this apology, quote, the First Lady apologizes that her words conveyed anything but pure admiration and love for the Latino community. But the First Lady finding sympathy from some in the media.
First Lady's team probably huddling today.
You think?
That up. Because when you know Jill Biden, that's not who she is, but it didn't come out correctly.
I don't know if we all have stepped in it. I know I have stepped in it. So, Dr. Jill, just, hear the humor. We get it. We understood what you were trying to do. And just try not to do it again.
I want to give her points for showing up. Because for 4 years, we had an administration where nobody showed up.
All right. I think part of the thing about this, Greg, is when you want to be extended grace, then karma, you should be giving that to other people as well. And conservatives reread everything that they're going to say or tweet or in a speech that they're going to give because they know that the chances of them being canceled are about 110%. Even if they don't mean it, even if it was just a misstatement or even if they're a clumsy attempt at a joke. Do you think that's what happened?
Part of me says turnabout is fair play.
Yeah.
Right? But, the big thing is playing to diversity is embarrassing no matter who does it. And it's worse when you have to apologize afterwards. Trump didn't apologize over that taco salad. As funny as that was, him standing there over the salad. But I think it is, she has apologized. I think it is terrible to compare people to food or even Mexican food, especially Dr. Biden. She's got a medical degree. She's got status. She's got prestige. She's got the whole enchilada. and if you look at her, she's still quite attractive. I bet in her day, she was one hot tamale.
Oh, gee.
Unlike her husband, who's fallen apart like a burrito you eat while driving.
That is difficult to do.
So there you go. I guess what I'm saying is she shouldn't apologize. She didn't do anything wrong. When anybody ever says anything out of their best intentions, just leave them alone.
Yeah.
But I do get it. I do understand the desire to do it. But the media loves this stuff because if you don't pander, you're a bigot. And if you do pander, you're a benign, patronizing bigot. So they win either way.
Well, the interesting thing was that it didn't just come from the right. You can imagine somebody wanting to go. It's unusual to go after a first lady unless you're Melania Trump.
Exactly.
But the National Association of Hispanic Journalists, they're the ones who took offense. So that's where it was, again, like the calls coming from inside the House.
As someone who's very agile in navigating the fine lines of ethnic sensitivities, I think it's okay what she said. It's just a matter of how she said it. You don't go to a Columbus Day event and say, you guys are like a bunch of meatballs. You can say you like Italian food, right? That's the difference. Now, as a white Irish Catholic female from the East Coast, she could have gone out and said, my ancestors made a lot of contributions to this great country, but food wasn't one of them. Polite applause. And then you said, in your case, you guys made so many contributions, especially in the culinary department. As a matter of fact, in our household, my children like Taco Tuesdays better than Thanksgiving. And then you say, and I had to explain to them the Pilgrims did not eat tacos. Polite applause. Probably a lie, but it doesn't matter. The problem is that political correctness has made it impossible for whites to pander to ethnic groups now because they look ridiculous when they do it because they're like, I'm the good white. I'm the Democrat white. I like your music. I like your food. What do you want to do, the Macarena? Right? Like, let's wear like tribal robes and I'll kneel with you and I keep hot sauce in my purse. You gotta be kidding me with that. So, and the blacks and Hispanics are like, can these corny white people shut up and just tell me how they're gonna reduce gas prices?
Yeah.
So this could not come at a worse time for Joe Biden as he's losing Hispanic votes. I mean, he's got the Ashley diary out there. He's got Hunter's laptop. He's like, Jill, we didn't need this right now. Who's writing your speech? Jesse Waters? So it's clumsy when she does it because it's so blatantly pandering. The Trump taco thing was cool because it was transactional. You know, Trump's like, blacks, they love me. I got them the money for the HBCs, or the evangelicals, I put the judges in there and we say Merry Christmas again, or the Jews, I moved the embassy to Jerusalem. You know, it was like, you know, I'll give you this, you give me that. But when she does it, it's just cringe, and that's not the way you play it.
Yeah, I just on this point, Judge, the president's approval with Hispanics, this is according to the New York Times poll, is a 32% approve, 63% disapprove. And it's not because of a line about breakfast tacos. It is about the policies, including energy policies, gas prices, inflation,
well, that's the answer
obviously
to your
education,
question.
et cetera.
That's the answer to the question that I think you're asking, and that is that this is minuscule in the scheme of things. The reason that, you know, he is at a loss with Democrats, and I recall last week it was 26%, or the week before, approval rating among Hispanics, was because he isn't in favor of protecting the border. He isn't in favor of protecting the safety and security of the American people as it relates to crime. He's not fighting for gas prices. All the things that, you know, the Hispanics are no different than the rest of us. They're people. They want to make sure that they've got money in the bank, or money at least to pay their bills, and they want food for their kids, and they want their kids to be safe. But this pandering, some of it is bigoted, I must tell you. And I'm not going to criticize her. I don't think she matters in the scheme of things.
Right.
She really doesn't. And I think it's outrageous that, you know, every time Melania Trump tried to show up for anything during the Trump years, they destroy her before she even showed up. And then they say, oh, she never showed up. Come on, she tried 1,000,000 times. No one would cover her.
Remember they made fun of her about speaking 5 languages?
Yeah. And they said she was illiterate or something. But my point is this, that, you know, you can't assume that you've got any particular group. And you can't pander to them, and you can't say, you know, if you're not black if you don't vote for Joe Biden. I mean, let it all go. We're all Americans. Just let it go. Joe Biden had that comment years ago. I don't remember it. It was at a 7-Eleven. Something about I think it was the Indians. I mean, stop it. Yeah. Stop it. We're all Americans.
But as Jesse pointed out, it was like, well, it's okay. That's just Joe. You know, that's just Joe. But if it was somebody else, it would be something worse. I do want to just play this soundbite from Paul Begala for Harold. This is about the fact that you've seen in the last probably 35 days or so, Joe Biden and the administration being attacked by other Democrats. So here's Paul Begala on that.
The guy's had pretty rotten string of luck. But this problem with young people is especially acute. And you're right to signal it. In the election, Biden's strongest age cohort was 18 to 30-year-olds. Yeah. The youngest voters were his strongest at 60%. I just saw a poll recently where it was at 25. That is in part some of the other leaders of his party are undermining him, and undermining him with younger voters. They're attacking him instead of attacking Republicans, and it's an enormous problem.
Okay, that was a long way of saying it's a problem that Democrats are attacking Biden.
Should I get everybody that hat that Mark had on? This as a gift around the table.
What's under the hat?
Nothing.
First of all, a couple things. I agree with everything that's been said about Joe Biden. I think that politics has become payback on top of payback on top of payback, and even when the slights can be smaller and smaller, and the infractions or offenses even less relevant or immaterial, we can't help ourselves. That was funny, your opening. Begala's right. The Democrats who are criticizing Biden, Biden's being criticized for pursuing their way of politics in our party, the progressives. And the progressives are the ones saying he's not progressive enough. Now, if I'm Joe Biden, I kind of like where he is. Because if the progressives are attacking you and the Republicans are attacking you, that means you're probably where the majority of the country is, which is those of us that think that we should have the right to choose 16 to 20 weeks ought to be the thing. Those of us that think we ought to have a crime commission that really goes after DAs that are not doing their jobs, police chiefs are not doing their jobs, a real focus on inflation. meaning we get back to energy and do the things that we should be giving the certainty to these energy companies. This is a moment for Joe Biden to break out. And if I were at the White House, I'd be encouraging him to do the things we've talked about on this set, we talked about yesterday. Don't look at this moment as a moment of weakness. View it as a moment of strength. The country's waiting for him to break out and be the president from a disposition standpoint that we thought we were electing 2 years ago.
All right, so we should stay tuned, is what you're saying.
I'm praying.
And we shall.
Yeah, praying, but that was good. I like that.
All right, up next, border czar Kamala Harris rolling out the red carpet for Mexico's president. But is the White House actually doing anything to stop the surge of migrants?
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.